Hello, good evening, everyone. Hello, Lucas.
Hello, Lucas.
It's awesome to see you once again on our internal AMA. And today we're going to discuss what bid to earn is because when it comes to Brightpool, I think there's a new consensus called proof of bid, what Brightpool created. And this bid to earn seems very, very interesting. And yeah, my question to you for the beginning is, Lucas, what is this bid to earn and proof of bid consensus?
hmm Yeah, so it's like consensus. You should put a quote here, because it's not exactly a consensus as we know consensus by definition. If you had like a university professor next to us sitting, he would say like, no, 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 this is not consensus, my friend, because we are not confirming any blocks. Yeah, normally you have consensus when you have blockchains and there are block confirmation stuff like it, but we call it like, yeah, quote consensus, because that's what we've created, is like a new model, new mechanism of supplying tokens to the market. So that's exactly what proof of bid is like. We created a new way of supplying tokens, delivery tokens to users, and this is it, proof of bid.
Okay, so what the user has to do to receive your tokens? He has to
Yeah,
bid somewhere or?
yeah, exactly, as the name suggests. Like, for example, let's make a comparison. Like, you have a Bitcoin, then there is a proof of work. Yes, you need to do something to get Bitcoin. So the same is here. Like, you have to do something to get BRIs, and in Bitcoin you need some mining equipment, you confirm blocks, you use your hashing power, etc. And in our case, it's what you do to get BRIs is you place the order. You can say that you mine, quote as well, new BRIs by placing the orders on our exchange. So everyone who is placing the order, buy order, sell order, doesn't matter, that person mine new BRIs and receive new BRIs as a reward for placing that order. So you can say that you mine BRIs by placing the orders.
Okay, it sounds awesome. And you've mentioned proof of work. We also know that there are a few more consensuses like proof of stake and many, many others.
Sure.
My question is because we could have seen that proof of work works on various chains, like Bitcoin works on proof of work, Ethereum for a long period of time worked on proof of work. And my question to you is there any other protocol which implied your this bid to earn or proof of bid consensus?
No, it's our innovation. We came with that idea. We've created it from the scratch, and there is no other protocols which works this way. And I believe that we might start a new trend with this model.
Okay, I think it sounds very, very, very interesting for new users, which comes to crypto, because they are basically getting paid for swaps, right?
Mhm.
And my question to you is, how does Brightpool benefit from it? Because as you mentioned, you are one of not many who don't charge fees, and instead of charging fees, you pay people for their orders and bidding. So my
Mhm.
question is, what how Brightpool benefits from it?
Mhm. Yeah, so it's we benefited by settling the way we settle the orders user place, the way the orders are settled on Brightpool. So you place the order, and this is like a limit order with a time of settlement. Example, you place the order to sell one Bitcoin tomorrow for 1350, for example, and that order, your price, that order will be settled exactly after 24 hours. So and after those 24 hours you have two scenarios. Like, the first is like this, that if the price is lower than 1350, then in fact nothing happens. We just give you back your one Ethereum, and you earned BRIs at the beginning. But if the price is higher than 1350, for example, it's 1400, then order is settled and user receive requested amount, which is 1,350. And in that case, Brightpool made a profit of $50, which is a difference between actual spot price and the price requested by user, and that's how the revenue is done. That's how
Okay, so Brightpool benefits from this difference, and the user he's not at risk, right? Because he's gonna receive his BRI at the beginning, at the end of the settlement order, or
well, there is some risk involved in that, because let's assume the scenario that you have a bad luck, like you you place the order to sell it tomorrow for that price, and after 3 hours the price declined 10%. So there is that risk, that you there is some risk involved. Of course, you will receive a reward in BRI, and that will cover some of your loss over there. But there is some risk involved. It depends on your approach. Like if you are here for a long term, and that's not a big problem, if it dropped for some time.
okay. And when it comes to the settlements, how does transaction settlement look like? Are there chosen period of times, or I can choose, for example, 3 hours, I don't know, 31 minutes?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So it's not so flexible, but it's pretty flexible. You have right now we have, I think, 7 terms, if I remember well: 1 day, 3 days, 5 days, 7 days, 2 weeks, and 1 month, 28 days. That's what you can choose. And in the future, probably we will be even more flexible. We will give users even more flexibility in that area.
Okay, I came up with an idea of this question because we had similar question in our Discord, which I'm
Mm-hmm.
going to ask you right now. This question is from Olha Crypto Space. It was on Twitter. I'm sorry. Are we able to place an order on any amount we want, or are there specific amounts? Like we are only able to trade 0.1 or 0.2 BTC. So it's similar to the question I asked you about the periods of time, right? Are there limitations of this in the asset we want to bid or trade in your platform?
There will be some limitations. There will be some limitation at the bottom, like that there is a value of order which is so low that you won't get a reward for that order. And here maybe it's important to mention that the proof of bid as a mechanism is built on the Black-Scholes model, that we use Black-Scholes model to calculate the value of the reward user receive. And if we take into consideration that we have a blockchain transaction, there are some transactions fees, etc., then there is a minimum amount which doesn't make sense, that you can't place that order. So there will be limitation from the bottom, but not very significant. It's not that like a minimum order is for $1,000. No, it will be like probably few dollars, something really small. And there is another limit, which is like a maximum of the order which you can place. It's not exactly a limit. It's what I mean here is that up to the order for 1 Bitcoin, the rewards are, you can say, let's call it like linear. They are calculated according to the Black-Scholes. But if you exceed 1 Bitcoin, if you want to place the order for 2 Bitcoins, 3 Bitcoins, etc., 10 Bitcoins, there will be some additional limitation, which doesn't come exactly from the Black-Scholes model. Like we limit the maximum amount of the BRIs which you can get, and we do it due to the to limit the risk. Like imagine the situation that someone placed the order to sell 1,000 Bitcoin, a huge order. So the reward for that type of order would be very big as well. And then you have a huge order, which it's if that order will be settled, then you might have a big revenue, but if that order won't be settled, then you just released BRI tokens and you just added supply, but instead of having a revenue for that order. So we want to get rid of that type of situation, because in fact that's the people could manipulate like our token and our exchange in that way, and we protect Brightpool from that type of manipulations.
Okay, it sounds very very interesting, but to my mind came a question: how are you going to check whether this guy who had 1,000 Bitcoin has not created 1,000 wallets, and he's gonna do 1,000 transactions of 1 Bitcoin, and it would be basically the same to one transaction of 1,000 Bitcoin.
It's very nice that you asked that question, because I forgot to tell about second mechanism, in fact,
Okay.
which is that we will have a daily pool of BRI tokens that can be distributed to the user. So what does it mean? It means that we have let's say a function which limit the paid premium for the orders. So like if you will start to place that orders from the wallet, like order by order, 1 Bitcoin, 1 Bitcoin, 1 Bitcoin, 1 Bitcoin, etc., then every of those order will have a lower and lower premium, that you are
Okay.
just you are just exhausting the daily pool of BRIs. And there is built mechanism which mint new tokens every second, so that pool is filled every second with a new tokens. So that's how we protect between someone against someone who just would like to do what you just described, just create a bot, 1,000 wallets, and boom 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 boom, shoot the orders.
Okay, and those BRIs you just mentioned, you said they are minted into this daily pool. So my question is, how are BRIs going to be released to the blockchain? Are they pre-minted and then released to those daily pools, or they are newly minted each second of the day when they are adding to this daily pool?
Minted and released. That's
Okay.
how technologically it's done. It's better to we decided that from the security standpoint, it's better to do it this way.
Okay, awesome. And maybe I would ask you if it's possible to empty this Brightpool pool, because if you said that they're going to be pre-minted and stored, there is an amount of Brightpool, and after some period of time, like 5, 6, 7 years, there would be a situation where you would have no more BRIs to pay as a premium for the orders. And my question is to you, what happens after the BRI pool in Brightpool is empty?
This is fantastic question, because right now we have that internal discussion. Like right now, the model is that the pool is fixed. There is 800 million tokens, and if we will finish that, then we will switch. When all the tokens will be released to the market, it means that Brightpool earned some amount of revenue, and that there is like a pretty big, because it will be like a several $billion internal treasury pool. So we have like assets which belongs to Brightpool, and then we can change the business model that we can pay for orders from the assets which are in the pool. So that was our initial idea, to do it this way. But last days we very intensively discussed that whether we maybe we should switch to the model of not limiting the supply, that there is like infinite supply of the tokens, and that we have like our reward reduction function is just distributed to the infinity, that even if users achieve that 800 million, it goes farther and farther, and this is just a function of reducing the reward according to some volume. So that's our discussion, like whether it's still we still have time, we still can switch it, we still can change the business model, and we are thinking about it, whether do it or not. And in fact, this is my question to our to our community, to our viewers, what do you think about it? Do you think that we should have infinite supply of the token with infinite reward reduction function, or should we have like a fixed supply? And just to give you maybe more understanding, like in my opinion, more like it feels more natural that you don't limit the supply of BRIs, because normally people don't like infinite supply. They say it's inflationary, you every time you mint new tokens. But in our case, like every mint of new tokens is connected with the order, and that's connected with the revenue, which goes back to the exchange, and we use that revenue for buyback, for stakers, etc. So in fact, you can keep the project going to infinity with that approach, and that can cause to the prediction about BRI token price can be even higher in that case, because fundamentally we have that value here which stays in the exchange. So I would like to shoot that question to our community, like write in the comments, what do you think about it, like whether we should have limited supply or infinite supply.
Yeah, I think we could even make another AMA about this topic, because it would be interesting to let our community speak. We could do AMA on Discord, so people would be able to jump in and say their opinion, share it with us.
Good
I think
idea.
it's a very valuable what you've just mentioned, that we should also ask our community. And my second question, but you've partly answered this. Um, if it's not going to be the unlimited supply, then after the empty of the pool, BRI pool, you've said that you're going to pay in other assets, right? Like in ETH or something like this. And my question to you is whether it's not better to buy BRI from the market, store them again in your pool, and then pay people in BRI once again, because once you buy it from the market, the price of it goes up, so you can pay people less BRI in the same dollar equivalent.
Mm-hmm. Yes, that's true, and that's yeah, really nice conclusion, because we will be doing that with our buyback fund, because our buyback fund will work in a way that whenever price goes below our predicted Black and Scholes price, then we execute buyback, and those tokens go back to the pool. So it's interesting. We might had a situation that we will never empty that pool, in fact, because we will be buying those tokens, over and over. And after adding our second functionality, which will be price booking, and where user pays for book the price of Ethereum, Bitcoin, and they pay for that in BRI token, these tokens are taken and they go back to the reward pool as well. So we might have the situation that we will never reach $800 million. That might be a case. It depends. Like, it's hard to predict, really hard to predict, because how the market will behave, because you can make a simulation like Monte Carlo, but Monte Carlo, that's, you can simulate every scenario. So of course there is a scenario that that the pool will be empty, because you can assume that there is like a minimum amount of people booking a price, and that's it, that's your scenario. But the question is, what will be a reality, how that will distribute between those who place the order and take BRI, and between those who book the price for Ethereum and pay with BRIs. Here is interesting dynamics, and really hard to predict.
Yeah, definitely. It's too early to think about it, I think, because as you said, many things can happen, and as far as we all know, DeFi is changing very fast as well. So I think we could see even very modern solutions in the upcoming 2-3 years, which could be also applied to the Brightpool. Okay, awesome. And when it comes to the buyback fund, because you've mentioned that before, you said that you're gonna buy back BRI tokens when the price is below the Black-Scholes model, right?
True.
So
Yeah.
what happens if the price is above this Black-Scholes model? Because it works both ways. Are you going to sell BRI tokens when it's below and keep money for the further buybacks, or the price can go up as high as it wants?
No, we won't do that. We won't sell BRIs if the price is above. That's not planned. That sweet and nice thing we leave for our community. I believe that if you really understand what is BRI, like BRI act as how can I say, as a BRI kind of like a deliver. It's an asset which deliver the premium here, like an option premium, because like Brightpool orders are very similar to options. Those are almost like options. The From the like let's say mathematical, like financial model standpoint, these are options. So if the price is above that black and Scholes, it means that we pay the best premiums. Like the premiums are really, really the best. So if you understand what option is, and if you understand the speculation, you know that this is a great moment to place the orders for at our exchange, take the BRIs, and take the profit. So we assume that there will be that equilibrium, that the Brightpool will be highly speculative token, that the people will speculate it, and it will have interesting volatility, which thanks to the reward reduction function, it will be like this, that it's higher and higher, but with those swings.
Mm-hmm.
These are our predictions. This is not financial advice. I'm not promising you that, but that's the estimation. That's how fundamentally that token is constructed.
Yeah, the construction of the token is very interesting, and proof of bid has not been seen anywhere before you. So yeah, I think you've answered most of my questions. Currently, I would like to ask our community from the comments if you have any questions. We had one from Olha Space before on Twitter. Do we have any more? Well,
Yes.
I don't see more questions. So Lucas, I think everything is clear. Thank you very much for this AMA and clarifying to us and our viewers what proof of bid is. We have last question from Twitter. Are there daily limits for BRI rewards? If you could ask that by the end.
Yes, simple answer is yes. There are limits. That's what I was explaining previously. That's to protect against manipulation, and this is to limit the risk of Brightpool, to keep the token steady, to keep the steady grow of the token. So there will be implied limits.
Okay, awesome. So Lucas, once again, thank you very much, and I hope I see you again
Thanks, Lucas.
in
Yeah,
our internal
let's talk soon.
AMAs.
That's great. Thank you very much. Thank you guys
Thank
for
you very
watching us.
much. And don't forget to follow our social medias. I encourage you to look at our Twitter, join our Discord, and if you enjoy this on YouTube, also subscribe to our YouTube channel. Thank you, everyone. Bye.
Thanks. Bye.